Jabroni Studios, in association with Big Herm Productions, is proud to present to you, recording from an undisclosed location in Oakdale, Connecticut. It's Chris Burns. It's Chris Lynch. This is Dysfunction Junction.
I have had my fill of food for at least the next 24 hours. I am fat and happy, my friends, and hopefully you are too. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving, but that time is over. We are gearing up for Christmas, for Kwanzaa, for Hanukkah, for the dawn of the new year, 2024. And to that I say, welcome to Dysfunction Junction.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
All right. My name is Chris Burns. With me, as always, we got the co-host with the utmost,
Chris Lynch.
and of course, the producer extraordinaire, the man with no hair, and
over
cooked
there.
his ass off this week. His name is Big Herm, Michael P.S. Herman.
I did.
Justin, yes, I am a big pain in the ass, and if you talk work on my feed, you'll be banned from the show. So there you go. We're just going to get that out of the way right now.
Ooh.
Not even canceled, just banned from the show. We're not putting up with this shit. Not today. Not today, because we got a lot of stuff to cover today. And let's start with Lynch. Seems you had a little bit of a run-in with a douchebag today. You want to give a douchebag of the day?
Yeah, I think we can do this on the regular when we have a loose format show. So anyway, again, you Route 32, you London into Montville, right near the Cumberland Farms, which is apparently an asshole magnet. So I'm going to ask you guys a question. Merge. The left lane goes this way, and the right lane goes this way. What does that mean?
Means you pick your spot, you ease in.
You merge in behind me where it's safe to do so.
Well, wait a minute. What did the sign say?
It said merge. Why don't you stop being an asshole?
Merge.
Well, it does, but did it also give a lane showing the lane to merge which way?
Yes.
I'm
yes.
just getting all the facts.
That's what I illustrated. This is the left wall.
It's
my left hand.
It went in and okay. All right, I'm just asking so we have all the facts.
He falls in behind me, correct? When it's safe to do so. Apparently, in New York, because this is the plates he had, a black Kia, whatever, Telluride SUV with the first three call letters of KBB on your license plate, decides to floor it, fly past me, and leave me no space, and I had to go cut over the yellow line and almost hit somebody in the oncoming traffic. You shouldn't have a license. If you're that, here's the fucking kicker. He gets off 100 yards down the road.
Oh, fuck.
You know, on 32, Chris, where Cumbies is on your right, there's that cemetery.
Yep.
Just before it, he goes up that long hill, that road up there.
For what is it? My friends used to have friends that lived up there down by the water. Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the fucking place, but yeah,
Ralph
that's where
Sally used to live over there.
Yeah, that's when he decided to almost kill me. So to you, my friend, you're a fuckwit. You're a douche nozzle. You shouldn't have a license. Thank you. Fuck you. Bye.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah, just while we're on the topic, ladies and gentlemen, just remember the job of whoever it is to merge is whoever is the further car back. If your nose is in front of the next car, you are supposed to. You can stay there, and they have to merge. Just so we're all clear.
Yeah.
Just rules of the road. Just so everybody knows.
Now
That's not how that's supposed to. Yeah, actually, it was. He was behind.
To give a little more insight, he was here, and I was nose forward, so I sped up to get in front of him because that's what you're supposed to do. And that's when nope. I make the rules. I'm gonna try to fucking kill you tonight, Chris. That's what's gonna happen. Fuck you. All right. Anyway, on to the next.
Can I just tell you, your possum looks well groomed tonight.
Thank you. It's growing quite well. I gotta do a beard oil treatment tonight.
Ooh, look at you.
90 weight.
Yeah.
a little 90 weight, and he's all sexy.
Amen.
Pours like fucking molasses.
Fucking Christ, dude, your beard looks amazing. What the fuck you been doing? 90 weight.
Yeah.
Synthetic only.
Lucas gear oil.
Purple power, bro. Purple power.
Power.
Well,
Oh.
we should start at the beginning. Everybody had their Thanksgiving meal. We're fat and happy. I got to ask you guys a question.
Mhm.
At 77 years old, how did Dolly Parton do, in your opinion, in that halftime show?
The real answer, or all right,
It's your answer.
all right. So
Let's be
I
real.
noticed her making her, her side to side sachets in front of whatever that thing was, but I also noticed that every time she walked back and forth, she had a hand on it, like she was using it for balance. She looks great. She didn't look great. She looked like an old woman in a suit that was made for one of the ice skaters, so that there is no real skin. That was just fabric. You didn't get to see the bruises on the banana on that produce. All right, they covered the banana with like taffeta or something and put a big fat blue blazer fucking thing in her belly button. Get that old, literally, when the stage opened up, I looked at my aunt and said, so the Crypt Keeper's doing halftime shows now?
All right, so
Wow.
the background you chose tonight is perfect with smoke. It's all smoke and mirrors.
All of that was smoke and mirrors.
Okay. I replied that upon that pick, because I didn't watch the halftime show. I've only caught snippets afterwards.
I thought they were honoring a cheerleader that has been with them since they won the Super Bowl last time. I thought
That
that
would make sense.
Oh,
Hello,
yeah.
TJ Peters in the comment section. Wonderful to have you. We'll see you
Oh,
tomorrow
yeah.
night, my friend.
Let's bring that up.
The Donut Man.
Now, replying to what she looked like, looking at that photo, oh, she looks pretty damn good. Then I look closer. I'm like, it's not her belly. That's like you said. That's a little bit of muslin.
Leotard. It's a little leotard material under there. That's kind of
a little bit of muslin.
Because her face and her belly were two different colors.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were. She only tans this area right here.
Yeah, like just the front. But even Jen was like, yeah, she looks good from the front. But then she turns to the side and she's got old lady ass. So I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe she's an old lady.
Right.
Show me a 77-year-old with an ass I'd want to tap, and we'll be in business.
Whoa. Speaking of old,
isn't she dead?
She is now, but when she was that old, yes, still.
Yeah, but that doesn't make no never mind at this point, because I'm talking about now, not last week now, not last year now.
All right. Speaking of old women, we have to take a moment to pause and reflect on Rosalind Carter passing.
Oh yeah,
last couple days ago, whenever it was last week.
Yeah.
How the hell old was she? Like 90? She was 190.
Oh Jesus,
she was 80.
90. I thought she was.
She got to be older than 80. Come on now.
Yeah.
I'm going to the Google machine.
You do it.
I'm already doing it. Let's see.
I'll stare forward.
Born
Holy
August 18th,
fuck.
1927.
Yeah.
So she's let's see, 1927.
So let's do a little bit of math, folks.
So she's 97.
96, just shy of her 97th birthday.
That means Rosalind Carter. Let's see, 97. And see, how old is Biden?
144.
No, for real, legitimate. What's legitimate number?
He's in his 80s. He's in his
82.
80s, right?
82.
Yeah.
All right, so that means that if Joe is 6, then Rosalind is, let's see, another 6. Wow, Rosalind's way older than Israel.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Joe is 6 years older than Israel.
Israel. Yeah. We're doing very complex computations here, folks. Just bear with us.
Well, I'm
math magicians.
I'm trying
right
to do
here.
The math.
No, just a genuinely nice lady. Take politics out of it. Her and her husband Jimmy were always, in the mix with charities, Habitat for Humanity. Hell, I think Jimmy is 98 right now, still kicking or not
he's
kicking well, but
in hospice.
yeah, he's still out there. But as many as 3 years ago, he was still out doing Habitat for Humanity things.
Yeah, well, I mean, what was the thing where he fell down, he beat the hell out of himself on something.
Yeah, he fell and hit his face.
He fucked his face all up. The next day, he's out swinging a hammer, building fucking houses.
Yeah.
And in the midst of that, dealing with skin cancer.
Yeah.
Like
for the last 30 years. I mean,
both of them. I mean, Carter got a really shitty raw deal for presidency. Unfortunately, nothing really big. And Carter hit a very nice point where during the 4 years of his presidency, everything in the world had settled down for just a moment. All right. So the Middle East wasn't fucking crazy. The whole world wasn't absolutely insane. So what Jimmy dealt with was just dealing with the president and mild shit. So there was crazy he had to fix or fuck up.
Was it the hostage situation during his presidency, or was that the
very
beginning?
Situation did start, and it started about the last year of his presidency. And he also
making that babies.
He also got fucked with that too, because they purposely waited until he was out of office deliberately, and the change of power had happened before. Like they worked so hard to fuck Jimmy Carter for getting any credit. They waited till he was no longer president, and then literally 2 minutes later were like, release him. So Reagan came in and immediately took credit. First thing in office, they gave it to Reagan. But Carter never really was a bad president. He just didn't have a very tumultuous presidency.
No, there not a lot really happened because he was coming off the tail end of Vietnam, the tail end of the oil crisis.
Right. Right. All of that had kind of been solved. Like it's kind of like you become a manager in a business. Well, the last manager fixed every fucking thing that was wrong, and it was horrible, and he fucked up a bunch of shit, but shit's kind of running right now. So you come in as a new manager, and this guy doesn't know shit. Well, he doesn't. Not that he doesn't know shit. There's just been no issues he's had to deal with because everything's kind of smooth right now.
Yeah. Right.
Somebody doesn't know how to do their job just because the situation hasn't presented itself as the most difficult, fucked up thing going on.
Oh yeah.
And, he kept the seat warm for old Ronnie for 4 years. But yeah, rest in peace, Rosalind. A good long stretch, 98 years old, 97 years old. That's fucking awesome. Having some involvement in Habitat for Humanity through my wife, because she was on the board, and I've gone to events. It's amazing what the throngs of volunteers that give up their entire week's vacations to help build better homes for families in need. And that was Jimmy's baby. He was so philanthropic and just gave back so much after he retired, left office as a president. I think he was, to me, he's one of my most well-respected former presidents.
I don't know that I'd put him in that pantheon for myself. He was in and gone in a time where all you had to know was in our generation, what's the president's name? Jimmy Carter. And that was it. You didn't have to know anything else.
Well,
you just had to know who the president was.
When I say respected, I mean, he's just a genuinely nice person.
Okay.
Who did nice things. And you didn't hear anything, no scandals after or during or before. He's what I would hope any future president would be like. No baggage, no bullshit, just straightforward. Let's do the job.
What up, Leon? How you doing in the comment section?
And I think that's a big part of the big part of the problem with any candidate for presidency in the last 40 years is they seem to lose sight of that.
Mm,
Just
good point.
just do the job. Anyway,
it's one thing to do the job, which I'm sure we all know. I think you might be right. Carter's the last one to just do the job and not shit on all of his opposition.
He never had an ill word to say about anybody across the party lines. He never spoke out against some ridiculous things that were happening just during the last part of his presidency and into the beginning of Reagan's. He kept to himself and he kept quiet.
He told my cousin to shut up because he was interrupting his wife at dinner once.
Good. That's what you get.
Boy.
Sarah, there was Jimmy and Rosalind were at their house for dinner for something. And she was talking and Sarah had interrupted her a couple of times, and Jimmy leaned over and basically said, "Young lady, you need to hush your mouth."
The adults are talking.
That's right. Recognize.
You better redneckinize.
All right, I'm going to give one of you guys bonus points, whoever chimes in first. Does anybody remember who the vice president was under Jimmy Carter?
Mondale.
Bingo.
Walter Mondale, because then he ran in 84.
That's right. Bonus points if you could tell me who ran with Walter Mondale on that ticket.
Ferraro.
First name.
Geraldine.
Nice.
Jerry. Come on, Jerry.
Herm is quicker to the punch than I am tonight.
Well, sometimes it happens. Sometimes it doesn't. Can't blame that. Did anybody watch that shitty-ass football game on Saturday?
Which one?
Ohio State and Michigan.
No. Saturday was a day of I got shit to do at the house and we need to get shit done.
Understood. Saturday was a day of mourning because I got up way too early in the morning to watch this stupid game. Look, if you're a Michigan fan, congratulations. Enjoy. You now have a 3-game winning streak over Ohio State. Let's not act like the world is falling down. Let's not act like this is the last time Ohio State. This has been the most competitive game.
You didn't set the Jews free. You just won a football game.
Basically.
Thank you.
If you look back at some of these games, and the closest one before this was, I want to say 2008, where it was 42-39 Ohio State. That was during the 8-game winning streak. Well, you're not even halfway to that. No fault of your own. You've won 3 in a row. Maybe you win 4 in a row next year. I don't know. Here's the deal. To say things that I see these, mouth-breathing, nose-picking jackasses all over the wonderful world of the interwebs, you acted like Ohio State fell down and kept falling over. In case you missed it with 2 minutes to go, Ohio State was driving the field. Had they scored, they win this game. They don't.
That interception at the end was really is the only thing that literally is what changed the end of that game. That Ohio State was going the fuck in.
Speculation. I agree with you. In my heart,
I would have bet money that Ohio State on that drive is going in. They looked good. They were solid. They were driving hard.
Both sides played incredibly well. Both sides brought their best to this game. Somebody has to win. Somebody has to lose. At the end of it, Ohio State was on the losing end. Did it hurt a little bit? Sure it did. Then I woke up the next day and, life went on. My life doesn't. And here's what I'm trying to say. I'm sorry. Say that again.
And I still had to pay the electric bill the next day.
Yeah,
so
basically, here's what I'm trying to say. Your life doesn't change if the team you root for wins a big game. You feel a little better. You might have a little lighter step. You walk into work next day with your chest puffed out, but your bills don't change. Your life doesn't change. It's not like during that great Yankee run or during the 8 years Ohio State was winning all those games against Michigan that Urban Meyer showed up at my house with a check and said, "Hey, thanks for being a loyal fan. Here's $50,000. It doesn't change anything. It's just, it's a little bit of bragging rights, and amongst guys like us, bragging rights mean a little bit. Hell, I'm wearing a shirt to troll Lynch for our fantasy football week, and it's all good because I thought he was going to win.
Only lost by 6 fucking points. Did you see that?
I did.
6 fucking points. I was like, I'm not even going to come close. I'm like, holy shit. So this brings up a good point. When people ask me, what team are you a fan of for football? I'm not a fan of any one particular team. I may root for the northern and the northeastern teams more than I will, say, the south or the western teams. Because too many people that I know are diehard, hardcore to the point where they eat, shit, sleep, breathe their football teams.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, now you fit that mold, but you're not the typical douchebag.
Thank you very much for saying that, because I was about to change that theory a little bit. But
no, you're not the guy I'm describing. And the same goes for college. We could have won that game. We need to do better next year. We need to do this. We need to do that. All right. The minute I see a paycheck,
I understand. Hold on. Keep going.
What are you doing?
I'll send a link. I'm talking to the ghosts. The voices in my head are talking to me. I gotta respond.
Herm, I think it's time to get the rubber jacket.
Turn it off and reset it. See what happens.
Oh, it's something with the TV. I'll bet money on it.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know at this point. I don't know.
I wanted to make sure you weren't frozen.
No. So far, so good.
Had a little problem with the interwebs.
Dude, how many people am I going to talk to at once? Lynch, talk about the football thing. I got this. Don't worry about it.
All right. So you get these insufferable douchebags who say, we. When I see a paycheck signed by whatever team you're rooting for or a sponsorship to a certain college team, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Well, I have the same argument with Corey all the time when, he's talking about Alabama. Like, oh, yeah, if we only did this, I'm like, we? What? Huh? What position do you play? Oh, you know what I mean. No, I don't.
I'm a fan of the game.
I say we a lot, but you guys have heard me. I also don't give my fucking team any credit. Like, I'm harder on my fucking team than just about anybody else on the planet.
And
we won 4
games.
We didn't lose 3 games, and we won a game. That's what really happened.
I was just going to say that, Herm, is because Chris has that humility, knowing that his team sucks sometimes, and they don't always perform. It's those assholes who think that if they were the coach or the manager of the team,
you can say it, Lynch. You can say it's Dallas fans. You can say it. It's
not just Dallas.
More.
New England Patriots,
mm-hmm.
Miami Dolphins,
mm-hmm.
New York Giants. It's basically the Eastern Seaboard down to Texas.
Well, let me throw a couple other names out at you. New York Yankees, Boston Red Sox, to a lesser extent, Philadelphia Phillies. Like there's this gang mentality where you honestly think because you're wearing, like I got my little Falcon cap on right now, what I do or think doesn't change the outcome of the game, nor do they give a half a shit what I think at the end of the day.
Right. And I'm wearing a New York Yankees hat. Am I a
As
huge
well
Yankees
you should.
fan?
That's a gorgeous fucking hat.
I'm not a fucking Yankees fan. I like baseball. I have a Boston hat. I got a Devil Rays hat. I got this Colorado Rocky. Probably have a hat for every team in the league. I'm a hat guy. I love hats. I love to wear them.
Yeah, I
love to collect them.
I wore Rockies hats for years and years and years.
Living out here in the East Coast.
You like Rockies? I'm like, no, I can't fucking stand them. I just like their color combination. I like the purple, black, and white. I just like it. I mean, it was my fucking business colors. It's everything. Like, you like the Rockies? No, I like the purple.
I love this shirt. No, but I love this shirt.
I won't wear a fucking Lakers jersey just because of the yellow. That's it. But
I get it.
Yeah, I wore Rockies shit for years because I like the color combo.
Let me go back to who brought up Dallas?
Me.
I did.
That was
We
Okay.
both did, but yeah.
Right.
Here's something that Dallas fans not going to like. Dallas fan
I really don't
has
care.
kind of been like, I'm going to say typical Dallas fan is a lot like typical Yankee fan, which is a lot like typical nowadays Patriot fan. My theory in all of sports, which is there's a reason why you don't hear me talk about the good old days. You're only as good as your last season. Okay? Either your team raised up the trophy or you were one of the other 29 losers. I don't care how far you went. You lost. It's that
Well,
simple. There's
see-
one champion, and let's just use football as an example. There's 31 losers. And in baseball, there's one champion and there's 29 losers. And if you're going to stand on ceremony like some Yankee fans, myself not included, who want to stand on 2009 or the glory years of the 90s or the great run in the 70s, you're a dick. And if you stand on, like Dallas fan, oh, we have 5 championships. What do you have? The last time you won a championship, Dolly Parton didn't look like the crypt keeper. Okay?
For real.
The last time you won a championship, Kurt Cobain hadn't painted the ceiling yet. So don't stand on ceremony and go back to 1861. Stand on last season or stand on this season. Dallas is doing incredibly well this season.
There's
And
a lot of teams that are like that. That are, I don't know, Miami, Dallas, the fucking Browns.
oh, fuck, stop. Okay, let's talk about Miami for a second. Whenever a team is going name your number and O, and Miami is the only team, shut up, Patriot fan, you're going to lose this argument. Miami is the only team in professional football history to run the table the entire season, up through and including the championship game in 1972. Just because Tom Brady and his cheating ass bitches won 16 games, how'd you do in that last game? Oh, yeah, the Giants whooped the shit out of you. So you're not they were only the second team ever. No, you weren't perfect. Well, regular season. Well, the regular season championship doesn't mean dick. There's one trophy, one.
Yeah, it's
Deal
like
with it.
it's like the drivers. It's like the season champion in NASCAR. Yay!
Oh, yeah.
Nobody cares
Well,
about
okay,
that.
so
Now-
you
now
got
we're like,
that. Remind me of that.
big race.
Yeah, remind me of that tomorrow night because I remember in 2020, Kevin Harvick, was it 2020? Yeah, he won 9 races, won the regular season championship. Corey's like, oh, sent me a link for the shirt. I'm like, why would I buy that shirt? That's accepting mediocrity. That's like running around. And I bought one the first time the Falcons went to the Super Bowl because in my mind, I'm like, I'm never going to see this again. And I bought the NFC Championship shirt. This last time in 2016,
make it to the Super Bowl. I'll probably buy that shirt just because it may be the last time it happens before I die.
perhaps. But this last time in 2016, I got all the ads on my Facebook and in the email. I'm not buying this. No. There's only one shirt I want, and it says champions.
Right.
When the Bruins won the President's Cup a couple years ago, most wins in an entire freaking season, most points.
Didn't win
You
the
didn't
cup.
convert. You let the Panthers come in and eat your lunch.
We didn't win the Stanley, so I don't care about the President's Cup. The President's Cup is a it's a blue ribbon. It's a condolence prize.
Well, see, I look at it a little bit. I look at sports a little bit differently because I'm not maybe as hardcore as most people, but I do love watching football. Baseball, I don't watch anymore only because I'd rather go to a game instead
I'm
of sitting
crazy
around television.
hardcore about hockey. I'll let shit slide in football. I don't really care about basketball. I like it when the Celtics win. I like it when the Broncos win. I like it when Boston does a good job. All right. I really like that. But I don't, again, I'm the guy that doesn't watch baseball till fucking fall because
Same here.
the first 100 games don't mean shit.
Yeah, the last 62 is where the rubber meets the road.
That's what I'm saying. Like the last 3 months of baseball is really where the fucking game happens. Everything else is trying to figure out how that last section stacks up.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really care. But like hockey, I'm fucking down. Like, look, I'll stab a Habs fan if I see him walking around out here. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'll just swing on him. I'll swing.
I wouldn't. I just remind them that they suck.
You know,
See,
it's
but
I got those old commercials on my the ones like the old Bruins commercials for ESPN, the hockey commercials. The guy got ketchup and mustard all over his jersey, and the bear just comes out and fucking fire hoses him.
Yep.
Or the one where the guy's sitting there and he's got his drinks and his food, and the bear is looks at his jersey, looks at her Habs jersey, looks at him. Yeah, but and he fucking knocks the food to the ground. And don't date within your division.
So yeah, I see what you guys are saying about the championship, about the cups and the bowl and this and that. Me looking at it differently, like a typical Lynch, I look at a lot of things differently. I have respect for the teams that got that far. They worked hard to get where they are. Granted, they did not win the championship, but good on them for getting the opportunity to fight for that championship.
Mm-hmm.
And I say the same for basketball. I hate basketball, baseball and hockey. I was a huge hockey fan when the Whalers were here. There wasn't a weekend where there wasn't a home game where I wasn't there in my teenage years, and it fucking makes me sad that we haven't gotten another professional franchise.
You have to draw people. You have to draw people.
I know, and that's what really broke my heart when I heard the Whale was just going away.
Can I just I got to drop in on this.
Go ahead.
Have you guys gone on and tried to buy a Whalers jersey lately?
No.
Okay, so you can go
Why
on.
would I?
Well, because they are the Whalers and
Big fucking deal. I'm a Bruins fan.
No, I understand that, but I was a Whalers fan before I was a Bruins. I was a Whalers fan when they were in Hartford, and I loved the Whalers and went to see them a few times. The Hurricanes, North Carolina, I believe.
Carolina Hurricanes, yep.
North
North Carolina.
Yep. That's the team that bought the Whalers, and that's where they moved.
Franchise. Yep.
Yeah.
When you go to the Carolina Hurricanes, you can buy Whalers gear.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I would just like to say to the Carolina Hurricanes that you guys are wrong. Okay.
No, they're right. I'm gonna tell you why.
You guys, all right. You guys, this is the equivalent of me putting on a camouflage pair of pants and a olive drab shirt and a camouflage hat and every time somebody offers me the military discount, I take it. Okay, it's stolen valor.
It's part of their lineage. Stop.
I understand that, but it's stolen valor. You guys
no,
got nothing
it's
to do
not.
with it. It is.
There was no valor in Hartford. What did they ever win? First things first, they do the throwback nights every now and again, and it's nice to see the Whale out there again. They don't change their name. They don't call themselves the Whalers. They just wear the jersey. They own the name. They own the rights. They own all of it. It came with the franchise. The fact that they're respecting them enough, and I would hope and pray that the conglomerate that owns the group of owners that own the Bruins, well, of course, the Bruins can draw a crowd, but if the Bruins ever moved, I want to see the Spoked Bee on the ice at least twice a year during throwback night. It's a nice warm bath of nostalgia. You're not getting Kevin Dineen out there ever again. You're not going to get any of the guys that played with the Whale. It's the only one I can remember is Kevin Dineen. Maybe somebody out there can help me with some of the old Whalers players. Ron Francis, I think, was a Whaler, wasn't he? Or something Francis.
He was.
Okay. I always get him confused with Russ Francis, who was the football player for the 49ers. So I'm glad I got it right this time. You're not going to see those guys out there again. And we'll get into this particular conversation a little bit more in 2 weeks when we have our special Monday episode with Joe Polo and Tommy Summers. Still waiting for confirmation from Tommy. Our All Kiss episode. Celebrating this weekend
baby.
on the road. Going to be fun. I just texted a little bit with Joe tonight. He's headed to New York right now.
New York.
He's asking me, he's like, you going to buy the pay-per-view on Saturday? I'm like, why? I can watch it on Sunday on YouTube. Somebody's going to pirate that shit, and I'll have 24 hours to watch it.
And save myself a bunch of money.
it's not like Gene Simmons is going to shit Vinnie Vincent on stage. So what surprises are you going to get? You're going to get the standard set list, a little more pyro. There's going to be some hugging at the end.
I was going to say there'll be a long, heartfelt goodbye at the end. Good night, Cleveland. We love you. And there it is.
Right.
That's it.
Speaking of which, since we're on the subject of things that were and things that weren't going to be, and while we're still on the subject of the whale, kind of, when you have a franchise that is that storied, and not that the Whalers were around forever, they were around for 25 years and then moved to Carolina. But when you have a wicked storied franchise like the Quebec Nordiques, who move, and then Winnipeg moved, and then Minnesota moved, but every now and again, I'll just use Minnesota. The Minnesota North Stars move to Dallas, become the Dallas Stars. Every now and again, they throw on those old North Star jerseys, and it just brings you back to that place. It just really does. So I don't blame Carolina one iota for doing, the throwback gimmick at all.
Well, it's nice to see, and I agree with you. It brings you back to, a nice, warm, comfortable place you were when you were a kid or young
because
adult.
then you have some jackasses out there, and most of them are dead now. But I understand where they're coming from. The guys from New York, and I'm saying this with my tongue in my cheek, and I listened to a lot of these guys. My grandfather being one of them.
Are we going to talk about the Dodgers?
Yep, the Dodgers ain't been shit since they moved out of Brooklyn.
Dude, them old fucking New Yorkers, they fucking don't tolerate that shit. Yeah,
It's a bitter pill, man.
This country, do you talk to if any of them that are still alive? This country went to shit when the Dodgers moved to California.
Yep. Them bums.
Fucking bums. No, fuck them. Fucking bums.
Fuck them bums.
But I'm going to equate sports and Kiss for just a minute, because I think people in the realm, and I'm going to use Cowboy fan in this too. I'll use some Yankee fans in this too. When we do the Kiss episode, here's a question that I can ask you two now that will equate to when Joe and Tommy are on the show. Does it matter who's wearing the fucking makeup of the Spaceman and the Catman, as long as Gene and Paul are still Gene and fucking Paul? The reason I ask this question is this, because you don't hear people say, the Yankees ain't been shit since Mattingly retired, or the 49ers, I used to love them, but once Montana left, that was all over for me. No, because
it really
the show goes on.
In that case, it really doesn't. We've seen several people in makeup other than Gene and Paul. We had Ace
and Peter.
Had Vinny.
Yep. And Eric.
We had Peter and Eric.
And now we have Eric Singer and Tommy Thayer.
Right. And I don't think it really matters. The Journey changed their entire fucking lyricist, and it didn't matter.
4 times.
Bands change major players all the time, but again, the Grateful Dead, that they so many people played with that band or were in that band. I did like 4 shows on a tour, and it doesn't matter. I don't, and I think music is one of those things where technically, I don't think it's that important.
I mean, John Mayer's been
product.
John Mayer's been touring with the Dead as a Dead member for a couple of years now.
No shit.
Right. But
yeah,
he's their
guitarist.
You've also got people like me that like it's not the Dead since Jerry died.
Oh, see, stop. Get out. That I can get. Okay. But that goes in.
Like,
let me throw this out there.
It'd be like the Police coming back with somebody other than Sting.
Jimmy Page, not
like
in
Goldberg?
Led Zeppelin.
I'm just saying, without Sting, like it, Goldberg, CM Punk, any of them guys.
Leave CM Punk out of this.
You know what I mean? Like, is it the Police without Sting? I mean, Stuart Copeland is fucking amazing, but
is it?
Go ahead, Lynch, please.
Is it Led Zeppelin without Robert Plant or Jimmy Page?
And Jimmy Page.
If you've
I
got
mean,
two, look, you're 4-piece. I know where you're going. And here, let me help you. Please,
I mean,
no, you know what? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
John Bonham Jr. fills in quite nicely for his father when they do make the rare appearance as Led Zeppelin.
Right. You've pissed Herm off. Now he's leaving.
But if Jimmy Page gets hit by a bus tomorrow, there's no Led Zeppelin. I'm sorry. That's you have those unique cases where it's not. See, Kiss is to me the two main leads in Kiss are Kiss. Everybody else is a hired gun.
Has been since 1980.
A lot of bands are like that. A lot
doesn't
of bands
make it any less real.
Right. So you get bands like Kiss. You got bands like Chicago. You have bands like Toto, where they just hire people. Foreigner. They hire people to put behind a drum kit, behind a bass guitar, because they're hired. All those guys who played in those bands were studio musicians before they became a band.
Mm-hmm.
People don't realize that. I mean, yeah, Jimmy Page came from the Yardbirds, and Robert Plant was doing his own little thing over here, and Bonzo was Bonzo, but you take the icon out of the band, it's not the same band when you replace it with.
I'm going to throw one band out, just one.
I'll say one of the exceptions to that rule is Van Halen. Wolfgang fills his father's shoes.
Yes, but he won't. He's not going to do the Van Halen bit.
No,
yeah, but
I'm
he
just
was
saying,
also never the front man either.
If he were to step into the,
you can replace a front man and be successful. There's a very few that have gone on. Van Halen being one. Go ahead. I want to hear the others.
Well, no, I'm nothing specific, but like there's three. Like I would
Van Halen, Journey, Iron Maiden. They replaced the original singer and they got better.
AC/DC.
There's one. I liked him better. Doesn't mean I stopped listening to him, but I liked him better with Bon Scott. But they did go on and do big things. There's one band.
The music was different.
Right. There's one band. Oh yeah, you're right. Every song sounded the same.
No, I think early AC/DC had more mixed it up a little bit more than post Brian Johnson.
I think everything Brian Johnson ever did sounded the same. Everything, every fucking song except Money Talks ever.
All right. Anyway, keep going.
There's one band that has a rabid following that can get away with replacing almost every member of the band. Only one survivor, up through and including 2015. One original member of the band. Nobody white said shit. Who is that band?
Nobody white said shit.
No, nobody white said shit about the fact that there's no original members other than the one main guy.
I have no clue.
Fucking Motorhead.
Oh, yeah.
Lemmy was the only original member of Motorhead after 1982. Nobody said shit. You just loved the records.
Black Sabbath was like that too.
I don't know. In the 80s, Black Sabbath was... They could have made an album akin to, The Wall, and nobody would have bought it because nobody gave a shit. It was just Tony Iommi and backup band.
Fuck anybody else.
Okay, I'm gonna go right back to this. Dallas fan, don't be typical Kiss fan. Don't be typical Van Halen fan. Things change. Things move on. Okay, you don't like what Kiss is putting out for the next week until they're done. Don't fucking go. Don't watch.
Buy it.
You want to stand on trophies from 1996? Hey, feel free. I want to point out that, yeah, you've got all those trophies, but Alanis Morissette sold 1 million albums in 96 too. You really want to, and I'm speaking to Yankee fans now, you really want to go back to the late 90s? Sure. And I'm sure Full House is still on the air in your house. Shut the fuck up.
Well, and that's just it. People don't want to admit that it's not the same as it used to be. Those are people who are resistant to change and refuse to change with the world around them. Now, the three of us are like that to a certain degree, but the topics are totally different.
Right.
When you start mixing facts into it, that's
what
changes. And facts and logic. That's how I get about my day is facts and logic. And if it ain't right, it ain't right. But when you're talking about entertainment, I mean, they could replace Bruce Willis and make another Die Hard movie. They're gonna go because it says Die Hard, and they kind of like the first. They kind of like a couple of them. People are gonna show up.
Well, you know,
the Star Wars films are a perfect example.
Let's ease into movies real quick, because there's those folks that I haven't watched a Rocky film since Rocky 3. That's great. You missed a good one in 4. You missed a shitty one in 5.
You missed a bunch of good films.
Yeah. The shitty one was 5. Then there was Rocky Balboa. Then there was the 3 Creed films. You're missing a lot.
I really like
because you want to stand. You want to plant your feet in 1982 and go, "This is my hill to die on." Well, good. Keel over already, because I'm done hearing about it. If you don't like it, walk along. You guys know me and Nickelback. I fucking hate Nickelback, and I will pick on people for liking Nickelback, but I don't stop them. If that's what you want to listen to, have fun. If you want to go out and listen to who was the guy you brought up, Ed Sheeran or
John Mayer.
John Mayer. I like some of John Mayer's stuff.
One of my favorite guitarists.
Taylor Swift sells 7 million albums every 45 seconds. I could give a shit because I don't like her music, but if you like it, feel free.
I got a funny Taylor Swift thing for you. We're at my buddy Rob's house on Sunday, just because we couldn't get together on Thanksgiving, and their daughter Mackenzie is at the little kitchen island watching on her phone someone's live stream Taylor Swift on their phone. And she's waiting for the announcement to when Taylor Swift's going to take back her catalog, and that she's going to do her versions of it. So I asked her, I was like, well, what does that mean? I don't know Taylor Swift that well. So she goes on to this long, convoluted story about how the first record deal she signed, the producer got X amount he made all the money, and he gets to keep the songs, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And that now, so now,
right.
She's changing the songs just enough where it won't be copyright infringement, and she's going to re-release all the back catalog. So she's waiting for that announcement. I'm like, Taylor Swift has made enough money for about half the planet.
Yeah.
Does she really need to re-dip her toes into that?
Okay, now I'm going to harken it back to Kiss. In the 80s, when they were on their ass financially, not individually, but as a band, the Kiss organization was bleeding money. They sold their publishing for everything up through and including, I think it was 1987's Crazy Nights album, to a Japanese company. So you fast forward to 2009 when they put out what I thought was a pretty good record, Sonic Boom. It came with an extra disc, and it was reworked Kiss classics. Changes here and there. A little tempo is off. Some of the chord progression is a little bit wonky, but they did the same thing. And eventually, after the reunion and Psycho Circus, they bought their publishing back. So that's why you got Big Houses and Gene Simmons' Family Jewels, and Paul got to finally get an ear and all sorts of other neat shit. But no, it's not unusual. And I'd like Herm in a minute to bring up the other music story we were talking about earlier, because that's 6 different shades of fucked up.
It isn't unusual, but I understand why Kiss did that. They did it to get themselves out of a bind. She's doing it for just sheer fucking greed.
Oh no, it took 20 years for them to do it. Once they did the reunion 9-10 years later, after selling the catalog, they bought the catalog back.
Right.
I don't know if it was at a discount or not, but
I can understand that move financially. But what she's doing financially is just screwing little kids over.
Basically, yeah.
Make them buy the same album again because they're so blindly fanatical about you when you're probably a piece of walking human trash. I don't see any good redeeming qualities about her. She seems fake. She seems phony. Everything she does is for publicity. Like, I want to watch a fucking Kansas City Chiefs game. I don't want to see her face. I want to watch football. If you cut back to that camera one more fucking time and see her and her mom or his mom in the fucking booth, I'm going to drive to wherever the fuck you are and slap you, Mr. Cameraman.
Speaking of which, before Herm gets to his music story, did you guys hear Deadspin is going after a kid that went to the Chiefs Raiders game for wearing blackface because CBS caught him looking at something and he had one side of his face painted black and the other side was painted red. But when CBS's camera catches him, all you see is the blackface.
That's
And they're
fucking stupid.
losing their minds. Deadspin is losing their collective mind, saying this kid should be called out. NFL, you have to do something about this.
Who the fuck is Deadspin?
Some sports
Exactly.
website that nobody reads other than
I was gonna say,
leftists.
some
I've
illegitimate.
never heard of it.
Eh.
I've never heard of it. They can go fuck themselves.
I hadn't heard it.
Yeah.
I didn't hear about it until today.
Apparently, they missed that episode of Seinfeld when Putty painted himself yellow and gold, and they missed all those times in Tampa Bay when they're all painted whatever fucking colors their team is,
Mhm.
or that football game where the Giants guys spell out Giants on their big fat bellies and wear face paint, two different
Mhm.
colors. The two different colors he happened to wear were what, black and red.
Black and red.
Black and red. Who are they playing?
The Chiefs. The
Okay.
kid was a Chiefs fan. Oh, and he had a
Okay.
headdress on too. So according
So-
to the Deadspin
He's
article,
wrong he's wrong 3 times.
yep,
You win 3 times.
yeah,
Fuck
he was
you.
a triple winner.
Stop telling me what I'm supposed to be upset about.
Stop worrying about what other people are worrying about. Fuck them. Who cares?
I
That
try
kid's
to,
fine.
but it gets thrown in my face way too often. Herm only comes out at night, not quite lean, but he's the hungry type. I've seen him here before. You want to tell us about the current woes of Hall & Oates?
Yeah. Apparently, Hall & Oates are going at it. Apparently, Daryl Hall had. Well, let's put it this way. A couple of weeks ago or so, I mentioned to you guys that Daryl Hall had filed for a restraining order. Well, today, through one of the feeds that I got, he's been granted the restraining order against his partner, John
Wow.
Oates.
Oh, here he comes.
Or his person and his house.
Oh, here he comes.
Apparently John Oates is trying to, well, first of all, let me preface this with the two of them have an agreement. They have a music library that they have both done different things on and amounts here and there, and they've worked out a deal where each person has their own perspective percentage for however they worked it, and the library, and they get this percentage so that they can base like a collective works of art. They can base a percentage can transfer into like a net worth or an amount you're worth. Like my song library is worth $1 billion and I own 30% of that. That I'm worth $300 million. That's in your portfolio and banking and all that.
Right.
So they've got their agreement. They've each got their percentage that they can use for their own personal business and leveraging and whatnot. But the library is supposed to stay whole. That's part of the deal with the contract.
Right.
Well, John Oates is now trying to sell off songs and break the contract that they've had for 30 years, 40 years,
if not longer, yeah.
right? And Daryl Hall is fighting him on it tooth and nail because well, it that would cause financial issues to Daryl.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure and the mutterings and utterings are Daryl has a larger share. So selling off songs would shrink a library, and he would have own the same percentage of a much less valued object. So it would depreciate the value he has in this, but also you've got percentages and there's a collective works of art, and not each song doesn't have a specific value, but the whole library itself has value. So
Mhm.
applying a specific value to whatever songs that Oates wants to sell, how do you do that? Like, how do you decide that like how much, what's our agreement on now? Because now you've got to figure out what's everybody's owner's percentage on that song. Okay.
Right.
All right.
So
All right. How
let's say
much am I going to
Sarah
get for
Smile.
Maneater?
Right. Sarah Smile. What is the value of that song? And what's he gonna do about my percentage that he's selling off of it? Like there's like it's just a complete shit storm.
There's going to be a lot of lawyering going on, because if
Oh, a
you have
lot of lawyering.
if you have a collaboration, and it sounds like, and I haven't read more on this, I'd like to, if John Oates is selling only his portion of the publishing, that doesn't affect Daryl Hall all that much. He has to sign off on it, because if John is selling just his portion of the publishing, which when the royalty checks come in, if it's proportioned in the contract, John gets this much, Daryl gets this much, this co-writer gets this much, yada, yada, yada. If you're selling off your portion of the publishing, that's one thing. If you're trying to pawn off, just let's say, if they have a 50-50 agreement, even if it's lopsided, he can't sell without the approval of the other. That's just basic. If Herm and I start a business and I want to sell my half of the business to an outside person, I have to get his approval, because we are in business together. I'm just not going to be like, hey, Herm, I just signed you up to work with Yan Can Cook.
Right. Like, that would be the Herm. I'm thinking about selling my half of the restaurant. I have a couple of buyers, and I haven't gone through them and gotten to the list, but I'll keep you informed, and we'll see. I want that to be able to work. I'm not trying to fuck your half. So yeah, there's a lot that's required for this to just happen.
Yeah, but if what you're saying is correct, and now there's a restraining order involved, it sounds like John Oates was trying to sell the publishing out from underneath.
Well, right, and that's the whole thing. Like the fact that the judge has granted the restraining order, which means that I'm gonna bet the restraining order is so that he can't come over and hassle him. But I would also bet that there's masters at Daryl Hall's house.
When doubt,
that's it. That was going to be my point. Daryl Hall's not a dumb man. And
no, he's very, very, very. He doesn't seem like the fucking smartest Wall Street guy. Like he's just this fucking looks like a stoner hippie dude, soul dude from Philly, and which is what he is. But he's really done some pretty good stuff with his money. He produces some good stuff.
And he had a career after Hall & Oates. He had a solo career during Hall & Oates, and after Hall & Oates, he had his own solo career. You've never heard of John Oates post Hall & Oates?
No.
He may have written a song or two for somebody, or
he did boat. He did racing. He did boating, and I'm quite sure we surmised.
We heard about him during an awards ceremony when somebody was inducted, or there was a lifetime achievement award or something like that.
But he went out and did other things. But I'm guessing, and just based on what we were talking about earlier in the chat, again, guys, if you ever want just a chat episode, we'll throw you some stuff on the page. My guess is that between the race car driving and the competitive boating and all that bullshit, John Oates is broke. And John Oates, and John Oates needs money, and John Oates thinks that, I'll just sell my publishing. Well, that's great, right. John. You have to get Daryl's okay to sell your half of the publishing, because you are a conglomerate.
You're a business. You're a business entity. Hall & Oates was a business,
right?
They had a contract drawn, which is probably the original contract that they had when they became a band, which means that Daryl Hall gets X amount of percentage of songwriting credit, It's probably a weighted system. So if Oates contributed more than Hall, Oates gets a higher percentage.
Right. He'll get more points.
But knowing how musically prolific Daryl Hall is, he probably has the majority of the song.
Right. I'm going to venture
He has a higher percentage.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to venture to say it's rather high. Like, I would probably guess
Probably 80-20.
At minimum, it's 60-40. And that's lowballing Daryl Hall. I would say 75-25 is probably very, very right in the range of what he's getting.
Sounds about right.
You remember when I said a couple weeks ago in the chat, man, Tommy Shaw, what an underrated guitarist.
Yeah.
I was watching his Daryl Hall used to have this show. I don't remember what I was like on the Ion channel.
Yeah, live from Daryl's house.
Live from Daryl's house. And
it was a great show.
It's a YouTube thing now. And he has various artists come in, past and present, and they cover songs. They'll cover Hall & Oates songs. They'll cover other artists' songs. And it really gives you insight into how talented some of these musicians that you think are just.
The Sammy Hagar episode was amazing.
Do you know what one really, really caught me off guard? CeeLo Green.
Yes.
He is an amazing singer.
Absolutely.
He sang songs that I'll be like, whoa, he likes this dude? That's fucking amazing. So anybody, suggestions out there, go back and watch Live from Daryl's House on YouTube. He has a YouTube channel on it. Amazing shit if you're a music geek like I am.
All right. I feel bad for both entities because, this is a partnership that has gone on easily over 40 years. And for one guy to try to usurp the other, that's just bad business, dude. That's just really, it's not just bad business. That's bad mojo. You don't do that to a friend.
Right. You've got the restraining order that's been granted. So something has happened, and because the judge doesn't just look at you and like, oh, you want him to stay away and stuff. Okay.
Unless you're a female in Connecticut, then yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? You've kind of got to prove why this needs to happen. And so the judge granted it. So something's up.
Daryl walked into that court and went, see all this shit?
Yeah, this is a contract.
He did that. He did all this stuff. See, this one, that's the contract. He needs to stay the fuck away from me.
And I guarantee,
right. I think he went after the Masters.
I don't doubt it.
I guarantee it.
In my mind's eye, that whatever their publishing contract is happened once they broke and got successful. I'm going to say 82, 83, 84, when you couldn't turn on a radio and not hear Hall & Oates.
Right. And right. And not have like 3 of their songs in the top 40 countdown.
Bingo.
With Casey. And coming in again at number this week.
Here's Maneater.
Casey Kasem.
And now for our long distance request.
Yeah. They were on solid gold every fucking week.
Holy shit. You'd think they'd live there. Like, Daryl, John, we need a guest. All right, we're coming.
And both iterations of solid gold. Denny Terrio and Marilyn McCoo.
Yeah. And Rex Smith. Does anybody remember Rex Smith?
Yes.
Blonde curly hair dude.
Yep. And Andy Gibb before he overdosed.
Yep.
But Marilyn McCoo and Denny Terrio. Yep, those were the two
Marilyn
main
McCoo
ones. Wow.
From the Fifth Dimension.
That's right. Oh. All right. I know Lynch is not a wrestling fan. I am going to send you a video. I'm going to send you a video in a little bit because Herm already invoked the good goddamn name of Phillip Brooks, otherwise known to the world as CM Punk. You have heard the expression blowing the roof off a building. I've been in a building once for an explosion like this, a cheer like this. Twice, I should say. Once was the Kiss reunion, when that curtain drops and you see your 4 heroes from your childhood and the sound lifts you off your feet. I was watching a replay because I was at Billy's house on Saturday playing cards. Survivor Series is on in the background. At the end of the show, we caught the tail end of the last match. And when CM Punk was reintroduced, You can hear it through the TV. The hair on your arms will stand up. It was what probably every performer in every genre, whether it's music, sports, what have you, lifted. I've watched it 4 times since. Just that one 3-minute snippet. It was amazing to see. And it was amazing to hear. It's kind of like years ago when what's his nuts from the Jets, Dennis Byrd, gets hurt in the game. They think he's going to be paralyzed for life. 6 months later, the day before Christmas, Sunday game against the Giants, and they say, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the field Dennis Byrd," and that stadium erupts. 2001, a few weeks after 9/11, first game of the World Series, New York against the Diamondbacks. Ladies and gentlemen, here tonight to throw out the first pitch, the President of the United States, and the crowd erupts. There are very few moments in time where you will hear something like that or feel something like that. And I guess my question to you guys is, Lynch, I'll send you the video later. Have you ever seen or experienced something like that where the cheers of the crowd lift you off your feet?
Oh, wow. Actually being there at the event?
You could be. I was watching at somebody else's house, and then I watched the entire thing over the last 2 days on the Cock, and the show was pretty entertaining. But when it got to that CM Punk part with 3 minutes left to go in the show, I already know it's coming, but it's still. I mean, when you hear that Living Color, Cult of Personality start playing, and hear the crowd erupt. Again, the only 2 times I ever heard that when I was sitting in a crowd was, the Kiss reunion tour being one of them. And when they raised the 2000 championship banner opening day at Yankee Stadium, and 55,000 people collectively lost their shit. And I was there.
What I witnessed on television was when the Red Sox won the World Series.
Okay.
That was what, 2004. 2000 when they
were on the road in St. Louis, but the crowd still lost it. This is history.
It was amazing. The curse is broken. That was a moment. I'm trying to think. I don't know if there's any other moments like that. It's a tough one for me.
Okay.
About you, Herm?
For Herm, it was when the Undertaker walked by him at WrestleMania 11.
It was just good. That was my thought right there. When it went dark, and then the stadium just exploded,
and people lost their shit.
And you could feel the entire stadium just levitate. Like the whole place just.
That first dong, and the lights go out, and
everybody lost it right then and there. And it's and you just in complete darkness. You just feel.
I equate that to years later. I was in Albany, New York, with my friend at the time, and we went and saw SmackDown. Don't ask me why we drove all the way to Albany to see it, but we don't know who's going to be walking through that curtain. This is before the big screen TVs on every side of the arena. And it's coming 15 minutes to the end of broadcast, which means we got another half hour to be there. And we heard Real American. And we thought maybe this was just something they're doing to pipe up the crowd. And you see that yellow boot walk through the curtain. And then you see the rest of it. And again, you're just like, I've never felt an arena shake like that. That Kiss and the 2001 opening day banner thing. Terry says, that's when I lost my shit. She was at WrestleMania 11 with Herm.
Yes.
But yeah, things like that, when you have something so iconic. I wish I could have been there. And, oh, Christ, I'm trying to remember what the situation was. Fuck. It was a there was a live record, and they introduced like the beloved ex-member come out on the stage. Like, yo, we got a little surprise for you. Here's JoJo Fuckwit, and the crowd loses it. Here's one of
another one I can think of was the room I was in with the people I was watching the game with was the Immaculate Catch by the Giants during the Super Bowl.
Oh, you were there with me. Was that the helmet catch?
Yeah, this one, the Immaculate Catch. That was totally unexpected. We all went, "What the fuck?"
Oh yeah, that was.
We sucked all the oxygen out of the room.
Oh yeah, things like that. The moments in time that will just be there. You'll never forget where you were sitting, who you were with, yada yada yada. Kind of like when we talked to us three could talk about where were you when 9/11 2001 happened.
Sure,
where were you when the space shuttle exploded? Where were you? This.
English class.
There's certain moments in time that you'll never forget. And again, going back to that moment, and again, Lynch, when you see the video, just listen to the roar of the crowd. They just got done watching this fantastic, wonderful, brutal match, the War Games, which again, if you've never seen a War Games, watch it. It's so much fun. And they're all raising each other's hands and like, yay, we won. And you hear Cult of Personality and 19,000 people collectively shit themselves.
That's awesome. I'll have to watch it later.
I'll send you the link.
I keep catching the stills from it when he was up there with Triple H.
Yeah, at backstage?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's one of those guys I really like, smaller guy. Puts his ass into it every single fucking time. You don't have to be a bodybuilder to be successful. You just got to be good at what you do.
Yeah, and from what I've seen, and remember from him when he was still a thing, he was a hard-working wrestler.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The nickname "the best in the world," which I don't know if he gave that to himself or some marketing guy gave it to him, but pretty close to true.
Yeah.
Pretty damn fucking close.
The king of all media. Self-proclaimed.
Yeah, well, he proved it.
Woke Howard Stern.
Yeah, fuck Howard Stern.
I can't listen to him anymore, man. It's just he contradicts himself all the time and just goes up against everything that he said 20 years ago.
You mean the same guy who put baloney on strippers' asses and played bongos isn't living up to, I don't know, anything he's ever said?
Well, I was listening to a replay.
That's why I like Imus.
Oh, Imus just didn't give a fuck till the day he died. You're damn right.
Didn't give a fuck till the day he fell dead. He did not care.
Imus in the morning.
66 WNBC.
You're not seeing it.
Hey, you got to do it like this.
I don't care if
WNBC.
I got my plastic Jesus up there on the dashboard.
Silly hot targets.
1,000 an hour, as long as I got the almighty power. Moby Worm. That was some of the.
Worm.
Oh my God, Moby Worm is in the Queen's boudoir. Imus was fucking amazing. My mom listened to him all the time, so we did. So I still.
So
the fact that he caught so much shit for dissing the Rutgers basketball team, the girls' basketball team.
WNBC would like to apologize to the following people for some of the things that our disc jockeys may have said. And then the list, it's literally it's a minute and 50 seconds of them just the New York City Police Department, the New York Fire Department, every fucking person in New York, George at 1472 Henry Street. The fucking commercials are hilarious.
Yeah, Howard Stern's just proven to me that everything he's done up until this point in his career has just all been fake.
Yeah, it's all show. It was all for show.
It's all smoke and mirrors. The whole FCC thing. It bought him syndicates. It bought him a fucking fat contract at Sirius XM, and he stayed the same up until The new owner, Marcy, stepped in and gave him marching orders that you will change your format and programming. You will do this, and he's fired people that just were the entertaining part of the show. Listening to him and Robin banter back and forth now,
It's
painful.
horrible.
It's painful. It's
I
fucking
can't. I don't
painful.
even listen. I won't listen. I don't have Sirius. I know that he puts his shows up on YouTube every day. I won't even bother. I won't even bother. You give
I
me
will
Joe
try-
Rogan on. Give me Joe Rogan on any day of the week.
I'll
I'll
try to
take
catch.
that.
I'll catch some of his celebrity interviews. Like Paul Simon was a really good interview last month. Gave me a little bit of insight into his relationship with Art Garfunkel and shit like that. A couple other recent ones. He had a decent interview with Lars. The middle of this month, but most of it's just when they're not shilling shit. It's just it's gross. I just can't do it anymore. And I'm a huge Howard Stern fan. I listened to him for years and years and years. As long as I listened to Imus, because my dad listened to Imus in the morning and Howard Stern on their drive home. So it was on in the house.
Imus in the morning.
Yeah, my mother didn't like Stern.
Not shocked.
Mom just didn't like Howard. She just Imus was funny, and Howard. She just felt Howard was just offensive and fake.
Well, Imus made no bones about the fact
kind of fucked up that she called that way
30
back
years
when
ahead of time.
40 years ago.
When you know what I mean, like when him and Imus were kind of running the day and night, the shock jock thing, but she just liked Imus better. She felt his shit was just better humor.
It's just genuine.
He may have been offensive, but he was more people your mom's age at the time. Yeah, that's the target that was his target crowd.
For my mother, it was when Howard said that shit about that black reporter or whatever it was.
Yeah.
For my mother, that was it. When he fucking laid into that woman that way, she was like, he's a piece of trash. He's a piece of shit.
He did a couple. There was a couple of funny bits where he called the airline and asked if he could get any one-way tickets into the Potomac after the plane crash into the Potomac River. That was kind of funny.
What was it? Oh, and also Howard said some fucked up shit when the WNBC helicopter. Remember the WNBC the helicopter crash?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was. When that girl died in that crash, Howard said some fucked up shit right afterwards, and Mom pretty much swore him off forever. That was just lower than that was bad. Shock jock's all right. Imus is rude and offensive, but
he's more palatable, I think.
Well, and he also Imus made no bones
when he shit on somebody that he worked with who had just died.
Dying. Yeah,
on air, very show for a laugh.
Here's the difference. Imus made no bones about the fact that I'm this old curmudgeonly jackass who's going to say whatever he wants when he wants. At least he was honest 100% of the time.
Yeah, I mean, when Mom started listening to him, everybody was younger, but I was still watching him when he was 70. But we also were watching him at we were first listening to Imus at 35.
Yeah.
At 30.
He's
what up,
drunk,
Ryan? How you doing?
Drunk and high on cocaine 90% of the time he was on the air.
Right.
He made no bones about it.
The only Howard Stern bit in the last, say, 20 years that I really enjoyed, and I watched a YouTube clip of it, was he had Gene Simmons in the studio, and Craig Gass used to work with him 2-3 days a week, and Gene is there, when Craig called in and did the Gene Simmons impression, saying that he's the real Gene Simmons, and I don't understand why you have this imposter here. I'm Gene Simmons from Kiss.
www.kiss.com. You can buy your Kiss coffin. Pre-order now.
That's right. You click on my cod piece and get 20% off the Kiss coffin right now at kissonline.com. And Gene is like, I don't know who this jackass is. I don't know who you're calling a jackass. I'm the real Gene Simmons.
from Kiss.
From Kiss. I just heard if you get a chance this week, Three Sides of the Coin, who will be featuring in just 2 weeks here on our show, Tommy Summers. They just did 2 episodes in 3 weeks with Craig Gass, and his impression of Gene is so spot on.
It is.
It is amazing.
He's a funny motherfucker too.
Oh yeah. And if you want to dig deeper in the rabbit hole, there's a story out there of Craig Gass on the Kiss cruise doing an announcement.
It's just the best story ever.
Hey guys, this is Paul Stanley, and this is Gene Simmons from Kiss. And we're here to tell you we have some news. The boat has just hit an iceberg. They're in the middle of the fucking Caribbean. But don't worry, we have a plan. Story. We have a plan to get you off the boat. There's the diamond package for $5,000. He just goes on. It was the funniest shit I ever heard.
That's funny. Yeah, that's some good shit right there.
What do we got here? Beetlejuice and Gary the Retard will always be a classic. Thank you, Ryan. Going into some old Stern stuff. I was always a big fan of Jackie Martling. He was always funny.
Jackie and Fred Norris made that show. It was just like with their when Fred would pull an audio clip at the exact right moment and play it and put you on your ass because it's just so funny. I mean, he's the secret genius behind that show. Honestly, because he knows where everything is, or knew at the time what cart to pull and put it in, and now he just has to hit a button on his mouse and it pulls up a soundboard. But still, his shit is funny.
I don't know. I just didn't need the cast of characters.
Yeah, he was just funny by himself.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't need the cast of characters. He just did some funny bits. He didn't need 8 million characters coming into his show. Like he had, right. It was him, and he did a show, and Billy Saul Hargis would come in and do a bit, or they'd play, but there wasn't a shitload of characters. He did little bits, like he did the Moby Worm bit and some of the other shit, but that was all mostly him. Yeah, it was just Imus, and it was the Imus show, and it was good.
Mm-hmm. He did what he had to do. And again, it goes back to being genuine versus just shock for shock's sake. I think back to that movie, which was based on the book. What was it? Private Parts.
Private Parts. Where
he's walking down the street. Hey, did you hear the bit that I did about, the Chinese guy calling it for Doobie Brothers tickets? And then the waiter at the restaurant, don't make fun of Chinese people. Make fun, not funny. What did I do? Oh, shit. Maybe I did go too far. There's a difference between, we come on here every week, not that we're Stern level, but we don't make apologies for who we are. Don Imus did not make apologies for who he was. It sounds like, Howard Stern is on this, Lord's Redemption tour, making up for the stupid shit he did for 30 years. And it's not working.
And it's only because of the change in the environment and the climate of the country. I mean, if he were really a rebel, he wouldn't change. And Don Imus never changed. He stayed that rebel till the day he died. And I kind of respect Don for that more than I respect Howard Stern. Today's Howard Stern.
Imus was the most liberal fucking Republican you've ever met in your fucking life.
That is exactly true.
Fucking statement.
Fucking men.
He is the most liberal and understanding Republican there ever was. And it's straight up. And it's literally why I admired him, is because really what Imus was right down the fucking middle. And some shit he was cool with, and some shit he was cool with the other side. He never gave a fuck about what political side gave a fuck about what he said. He only cared about what he said.
Bingo.
Speaking of politics, isn't the last Republican debate coming up soon?
I have no idea.
Yes, there is, and Sean Hannity is going to be the moderator on that. So you're
Oh.
going to have a devoutly Republican moderator. That ought to be good.
Which
we got-
look. Hey,
We're still- I'm waiting to see what happens with the Santos thing.
yeah.
I was going to bring that up too.
There's no
Alright.
reason to have a Democrat moderator at a Republican.
Well, no,
debate.
no. There isn't. But it's Sean Hannity, unfortunately.
Sean
That-
Hannity kisses the ass of any ass he can get his lips on.
That's kind of where I'm going. So it's going to be like Sean Hannity sucking off whoever he thinks is the front runner on the stage.
Balls,
But,
balls deep in his throat.
All's in all, but I was hoping for somebody a little more moderate in the middle, but rather than a fanboy, you know what I mean? That, and then we got Santos to worry about. See what the fuck's going on with him, because let's be the truth be told, the Democrats are fucking hating him because he's just like, he is the materialization and the manifestation of everything they say is bad about the Republican Party. And the Republican Party wants him gone so fucking bad because he's the materialization and the exact thing that
He's the poster
they've been
child.
saying that they're not.
He's the poster child, man. That guy is he has told so many lies that he forgot what lie he told.
The poster child for lying politician, and the Democrats want him dead because he's blatantly, obviously lying politician and not smart enough to cover his ass. And the Republicans want him gone because of all of that, but because he's one of them. He's technically on their team.
My wife and I watched
it's like the Keystone Cops, bro.
Yeah, my wife Megan and I watched like a compilation of him being caught in lies on the news, like being interviewed.
It's horrible.
I don't remember who it was, and he goes through. So back to this saying that you're a Jewish. He's I never said I was. I never said I was Jewish.
I'm Jew-ish.
Oh, it's a funny thing that my family does. So you bring up the fact that you're kind of a Jew and you think it's funny? That's not fucking funny. It's offensive, you dipshit. It's offensive to every real Jew out there on the planet. I'm Jew-ish. Yeah? Well, I'm angry.
That's what they say.
And I want to shit on your face.
Yeah, because that they're using it obviously on betting money behind the scenes, derogatory. They got a deal over on somebody, or so, you know what I mean. There's no way they're using that.
Like I said, he forgets what lie he tells, and then he can't keep the story straight. So then he backpedals and looks like a fucking idiot doing it live on television, being interviewed by a new person who has done his research. Unfortunate for him. And oh god, dude, just go in a hole, crawl away into a hole, and just go somewhere and never poke your head back up. That'd be the best thing for him.
Basically, yes.
And
on that note, we are going to say goodbye to you guys this week. We'll be back next Tuesday, and subsequently a special Monday night episode on the 11th. I'm still trying to dot the I's and cross the T's, and Joe Polo, Tommy Summers, an all Kiss episode. What does a Kiss podcast do when there's no more Kiss? We'll find out. You want to say something?
Until then, we will see you next Tuesday.
Cut it out.
Oh.
Hey, guys, don't forget, if you're new to the show, stay to the end. I always say something stupid at the end.
That's all the time.
I have a confession to make.
What?
I identify as George Soros.
Ooh.
What you mean,
That's-
Santa
I'm
Claus?
so